all trimmed. Black port, nice grey top, as you can see. Got terminals in the rear, it's all pretty wide and everything as well. So what I've done is I've ran, it's just 14 gauge, but I've ran a positive and negative for each coil, and they're actually joined together down at the terminal cup. So it's equivalent of at least 12 gauge, so that'll be enough, that'll be fine for the power I'm running. Yeah, anyway guys, that is that. It's looking good. Now what I'm going to do to mount this to this is I've got these black screws. These I've already pre-drilled holes, 4 on each side, on each corner. They're going to go up from inside the box and into this panel. So I'm just going to get my drill in the box and drill up. In that case, so you can see the screw just hanging out there. I'll just push it into the hole. And in that way you don't see obviously any actual visible mounting for that. And that'll be more than enough to secure it, 8 screws. Pre-drilled my sub-holes. Sometimes I use T-nuts. This time around, it's a temp setup. Couldn't be bothered. There's nothing wrong with using screws, especially when you're mounting a sub just facing upwards. If you are mounting a sub vertically, then yes, I would probably go with the T-nuts, something stronger, but again, they're just sitting upwards. They're not the hugest, heaviest subs ever, so screws are just fine. Anyway, we're just going to put this now into the car. So last thing to make on the box is obviously this port panel that I'm making. Now, because of trimming, I'm not going to make it out 18mm, I'm actually probably going to use like 9mm, which I might actually have a chance of trimming it then, because it's very hard to trim, as I kind of told you in the last video, at the top of the box. Alright, and there's our flush little bit that goes around the port, cut out, as you can see, nice and well, square, rectangle, because I rounded it straight off that one, which was my template, so that's that. 4 holes are drilled as well. It's a little bigger on the top than it is on the bottom because the top of the box is the double baffle. So now I'm just going to get the little 45-degree chamfer bit, and we're going to put a 45 in the middle and a 45 around the edges. Alright, and there's our last bit of woodworking complete. So as you can see, we've put a 45 on it all, and I've also countersunk my little screw holes, bolt holes. So that's ready to be trimmed. So same material as before, we'll pull off the backing and we'll just get that stuff done. Alright, without anyone else to film, I couldn't show you me putting it on, and I don't have a tripod, I should probably get one of them. But what I did is, as I laid it over, I very lightly laid it down and then pushed the middle in. Now because I pushed the middle in, I've actually trimmed already all the way around, because this 45 here pretty much goes right to the bottom of the wood. So that's already trimmed on the inside. I now just have to tuck it under, which is still going to be hard, but not too bad. It'll be hard in the corners. The outside, on the other hand, shouldn't be too hard at all. As you can see, again, because of the 45, I get it pretty much to the edge, and then I've just got to trim that last little bit around. And yeah, all I'm using for this is just a simple craft spray glue, because the standard thicker glues that you use with the carpet will seep through. Just sitting in there, obviously, as they will be bolted in the box. There is the back, as you can see, all stapled, etc. And obviously it'll just press tight up against the porthole once it's on the box. I think I'm going to say 99% happy with the way it came out. It's pretty good. It was struggled to trim. The outside corners are actually pretty easy to trim. The inside corners were harder to trim. But once it's pressed up against that carpet on the box, it's just going to look real nice. Finished product. That is how she looks. So we have the nice velour looking finish. As you can see, matches up with my seats pretty well, with the top half of the seat, should I say. Very hard to find a trim that actually matched with these seats, because you've got grey carpet, kind of dark grey and light grey seats, and kind of a real dark grey on the actual body panels. So anyway, that is the box in and finished. 2 Sundown SA-12s. As you can see, the port just kind of lines up with the 45 on here. So I didn't line it up with the actual bottom here. I actually lined it up with that 45. Just looks a little nicer because it actually joins up with it. And as you see, just 4 bolts that hold it in, little flush bolts. Anyway, that is the completed temporary setup. And as you can see in the car, it looks half decent. Now I've got coming up a long weekend, and what I'm going to do is build a false floor. So just pretty much just the entire floor out of wood and carpet it. and then I'll be able to actually mount things to it, like the amps that are currently just sitting behind the box on this rubber mat. Not that they're going anywhere, but that's not how I normally roll. So this is the temporary setup. This will be in here probably for a few months until I build the big build, but for now this is what we're going to do. For years I was about to film the flex video of the box, and as soon as I hit play, I was playing it as I was driving down the street, and it's been a bit hit and miss over the last day or two. Occasionally it would all of a sudden jump up and down in volume, and I wasn't sure, and then it was playing quite fine. And then I actually went to film the video, and I actually got to the back here because I hadn't actually physically looked at the subs, and this one was moving this much and this one was moving this much, and turns out that one of the tensil leads snapped straight off its little post there, as you can see, which it should be an easy fix. I should be able to just put a ring terminal on that and attach it back on, so not a big deal. But it was still pretty damn loud, and I just was thinking, oh, maybe it's the song I'm playing or something. Okay, so re-crimped and re-soldered the terminal on. So I put a little bit of solder on it this time just to make sure it stays. And yeah, anyway, we'll put the little post back in. Alright, let's finally film these things moving now that I got them hooked up again. E40, what do we got? Function. This song's pretty good. See how it goes with some lows and highs. Alrighty, they're just starting to get smelly after 4 songs I've been playing, just sitting here. Car running, but voltage is hitting about 12 volts. 1 battery in the front, factory alternator, so again, not too bad considering. That's it for the video. More coming on these, whatever. They're actually getting louder and louder as they go. They're actually starting to loosen up as well, because one of them was brand new and the other one was only a few weeks old. So anyway, that's that. The video looks nice and smooth of them moving just because I'm filming in 4K now. Because of the new computer, I can actually edit in 4K, so the 4K is making them really smooth on the video, which looks pretty cool. Anyway guys, that'll be it, and more on the way.